So there's our car, parked at the very corner of the parking lot in the Wawa High Falls. Kind of a tourist attraction. What this is the kind of backside of a hydroelectric project, and this is the water they're allowing to go out of it that doesn't go through it to generate power. And apparently sometimes they let an awful lot of water go across here, I guess when they're servicing the generator, and other times it's like this. So it's noisy, and there's little signs all around the picnic area with the history of Wawa, and there's not a single sign saying you couldn't actually park overnight. So we're going to try that and see what happens. At the moment, we realize it's kind of cool and kind of damp and kind of loud here, and so we're going to take our dinner that we cooked and have it back in the car. Kaya gets hers first, so she's there. So Kaya and Jenny are having tea down by the fall. Kaya's not getting much tea, but she prefers A&W coffee. But we are at the High Falls, just south of Wawa. This is, I think, the bottom of the High Falls in Wawa. And Kaya is getting the second half of her morning walk. Morning, Kaya!
We have a breakfast in here, but it's a bit shaded.
Yeah, it is a bit still.
Don't jump, okay? It's gonna be cold.
Don't jump in the water, Kaya. There we go.
He's so happy.
Yeah, she's enjoying it.
Yeah.
So that's up where the falls come out, and then the lake goes all the way around and way up there. There's steam coming off the lake. Downtown Wawa. Lake Wawa. And Jenny's cooking at the edge of the beach. We're having breakfast. Kaya was just laying contentedly when I started this segment at the back of the car. But there's a dog in that house over there. Kaya knows about it. She's trying to speak to it in a very defensive way. No, offensive. How you doing, Kaya? Is it a nice morning? Well, it would be nicer if you didn't have other dogs around, eh? Yeah. I had to actually ask her to lay down. She's now telling Mom, I want my breakfast now. I'm hungry. Hurry up with my breakfast. That's what she's saying. But she does have this way in the morning of sitting on the end of the car and just watching us, looking all contented. But if you point a camera at her, there's no way. So Kaya has been sitting on the edge of the car watching Mum cook, but every once in a while there's a distraction. Like, it's all the way over there now. That seagull swam very slowly along the shore past us. Kaya was very frustrated, but now she's more distracted by watching Mum making breakfast for her and us. But she's on a leash. This is as far as she can stretch. And she's getting as far out of the car as she can. Yeah, you hear wrappers and you think some of them sound like wrappers for dog food or dog ingredients for your breakfast. I know what you're thinking. It's a nice sunny morning, isn't it? Oh, that was a crow just took off. We missed that. Wow. They have these different birds up in Wawa that we don't have at home. I was wishing one of them would talk. They make this funny wooden sounding cackling, croaking. Yeah, now he's not even moving, he's cleaning himself. Now that I got the camera on him, I threw something up there. It might fly away and say something. So this guy in the tree, he's also cleaning himself and not talking. Kaya can hear them, but she can't really watch them. They stay up so high all the time. So I had to prop up the back of the bed to get into the to put the chairs away. Somebody decided she still had to be at the back of the bed, and so she's gonna bend it and break it. Oh dear. So she's got herself wedged way up high on one side. She refuses to stay back down lower, so she's got to see Mum. On August 24th, 1914, Lieutenant Harry Coburn, VS of the 34th Fort Garry Horse and Canadian Army Veterinary Corps, purchased a black bear cub at White River, Ontario, while en route overseas. He named her Winnie after his hometown Winnipeg. Winnie became the soldier's mascot and was left in the care of the London Zoo on December 9th, 1914. While Lieutenant Coburn served in France, in 1919 he gave her to the zoo for permanent keeping, where she was watched and loved by many, including author A.A. Milne and his son Christopher. In 1926, A.A. Milne and illustrator E.H. Shepard gave the fictitious character Winnie the Pooh to Christopher in The World for Prosperity. Winnie entertained visitors to the London Zoo for almost 20 years and lives on in the hearts of children of all ages. The sculpture was dedicated by the people of White River to the world on August 22nd in the year of our Lord 1992. So we come a kilometer or so up from Trans-Canada Highway and parked here because we're just not sure about the condition of this road. It's not what we were finding when we investigated earlier, and the lake that we thought we'd be beside is off down a huge ravine on the other side of the road. So we saw this sign, so it looks like there's something they've called Buck Lake down here. So there's no lake. Oh. And this isn't really suitable for a Kia Rondo. I suppose we go up to that hill just to see what's on the other side.
The thing.
Yeah, just another downhill with a puddle at the bottom. Yeah, kind of what Jenny was suggesting. It just goes down again. We walked a little further down the road we were driving on after we didn't find Buck Lake, and so we found what looks like a really nice spot until you look over the edge and try and figure out how to get water access. This is really thick. Oh look, there's a Bud Light can. That's always promising. People have been here, but no, that's not feasible to bushwhack through that. Well, I suppose I should never say it's not feasible. It's just that I think we can do better. What a nice little lake though. Okay, Kaya kept walking, I drove the car. So we went further up the road, we're just at this hydro power line corridor. And the problem we're still having is no water access. Otherwise, this is a very nice day and a pretty nice area. It's kind of open. Oh, is that water access? That's pushing it, but we would have to go down and take a look. Ah, Aha! Well, okay, it's a bit of a walk, but that's lake access. Pond, and then opens out onto that lake. And there's the poor little creature that's so upset that she's not allowed to come down and check out the water access with me. There's closer up the power line corridor. Found water there too. More exciting was for Kaya was that. This is a beautiful day, and it's a nice, hilly, scenic area with all this carved gravel, which I now realize is probably not logging, but simply putting in this corridor just to get the equipment access. So we found a bit of bush to protect us a little bit from the winds coming off Lake Superior. We were up about 50 feet and back about 100 feet, and there's all this bush in the way. And so we've got our car parked here. We're in Marathon, the city of Marathon, down by the lake. So we set up the chairs and the table, and we're doing lunch. Kaya's been very slowly going through this whole area of bush, checking out anything that might be an insect or smelling for signs of rodents and stuff. Oh, and she's got herself tangled now, so she can't go any closer. Poor thing. I'll have to untangle her.
There's a lot of cabbage.
Cabbage has to be one of the neatest vegetables to bring with you, because you just bring it and you keep it in the car. It doesn't need to be refrigerated, it doesn't need to be dehydrated. And we already had it for quite a while before we even left on the trip, and it still is in great shape. So we've been having cabbage all week.
Oh, that's because you left in the fridge.
Yeah, well, we didn't want to leave it there and go away. We didn't want to throw it out, so, and we couldn't eat it all before we left. So having got my water in Lake Superior, it's now time to go up this steep hill of rocks and mud. I don't think I'll keep the camera on while I do it. So Garden Cove Beach is a dog walking beach, marathon. And it is actually, well, it's outside of town, it's on Crown land. And so we've come over to check it out, and it's looking very promising. So Kaya, of course, is getting a walk. And it's a possibility we're going to stay here tonight, because you are allowed to park overnight. We came down to the waterfront to walk Kaya, and when I came out I realized exactly where we'd come to, because across there is actually Marathon of the city, at least their waterfront. And we were over there, let's see, last sight we were just a little bit to the left.
Holy smoke!
Kaya thinks that beaches are for running full blast. After we took her to Burwell Beach on Lake Erie, are you soaking wet? So we're not too far from Nipigon, heading towards Thunder Bay, and we stopped at this picnic area, which is quite substantial, but the trick is that they don't have a no camping sign, and it is listed on the internet as a place where people have camped successfully without any problems. And it's got apparently a spectacular lookout, and we stopped only because it's been pouring with rain for the last hour or two, and it's just all of a sudden dried off to very little. The wind's blowing water off the trees, but we can walk around in shirts and coats. Oh, she's peeing! I'm only saying that so Jenny doesn't pull her, not because it's a highlight of the video. So, oh, I see. This must be quite spectacular, because they've got this chain link fence up to stop you looking too carefully. And maybe to stop animals from playing lemmings. Oh, wow! Oh, this is very high. I didn't look at what the altitude was when we got out. And every time we get out, Kaya is just so excited about everything around here.
We are pretty close to Nipigon. Ah, there's a bridge. Bridge to USA, no. Bridge to Nipigon.
Bridge to Nipigon.
It's a unique bridge.
Yeah, that's quite spectacular.
I think it's hanging, right? Is
Well,
that a hanging bridge?
kind of. You can't really see the river off the bridge.
Well, you have a bridge, it definitely has
It
something.
has something under it, yeah.
Otherwise, you don't do a bridge.